All right, so what's going on, guys? Now, this is everything that should be inside of your gym bag in 2023. All right, now this is from a personal standpoint because all of this stuff is mine, and then also this is from a professional standpoint of stuff that really people really should be using inside of the actual programs on that day to day. All right, so and of course, we have a bonus item in this situation. So one of the first things that we're going to start with, I'm going to say is one of my favorite items, all right, is knee sleeves. All right, so knee sleeves, now, of course, my people that, you watch Demon Slayer, these are my guys right here, right? These are my favorite knee sleeves. Now, personally, I like knee wraps better than knee sleeves. All right, the reason why I say this is because knee wraps support your knee a whole lot more than knee sleeves. They're still, for me, well, with these big old legs I got, right? There's a little bit too much slack right where the knee joint is, and with a knee wrap, you can actually support your joint a whole lot better. I really don't like knee sleeves, so these change from knee sleeves to shin guards, right? So when I'm deadlifting and I don't want to scrape up my knees or scrape up my shins and all that stuff, these are something that I wear consistently on leg days when I'm doing any type of deadlift movement, basically. All right, but for my other people out there that like knee sleeves, man, make sure, or that like to use these, don't like knee reps, use knee sleeves. All right. So one of the second things I'm gonna put on the list, right, is a weightlifting belt, right? A weightlifting belt. Okay, so another term would be a lever belt. This is one of the thing. Well, this is one thing that you should truly invest in, just because you need to protect your spine and brace your abdominal core, right? A whole lot more than just doing, of course, bracing. Right? You want to have a little bit extra layer of protection when you are lifting, so that you don't hurt your spine and you don't damage your core, basically, or that part of your core. All right. Another thing I'm gonna say, all right, now regular, and this is knee wraps, all right. Knee wraps are beautiful. I just got done talking about this. Knee wraps are beautiful for support. I love knee wraps a whole lot better because they make this a lot. They keep you a lot more stiff. They keep you a lot more stable. Now, of course, this is not foolproof. You can't just throw knee wraps on and have bad form, but we're not talking about all of that. But these knee wraps are beautiful because these knee wraps are not just the ones where you just wrap, and then you have to basically kind of tie them at the end, right? These knee wraps are Velcro, right? These knee wraps are Velcro. These are so beautiful. They make wrapping your knee so much more easy and quick instead of having to kind of fumble with it. I know if you're a pro, you've been doing it for a long time, it's not really a fumble, so to speak, but it still can be. But this is, just imagine getting to the end and all you're doing is this. That's it. And it's starting, right? So I ain't gonna give you the brand, right? Because I'm not getting paid for that. So I'm not going to give you the brand. All right, but not for real though. These are by Gym Reapers. A lot of the stuff you see in my bag, or some of the newer stuff that you see in my bag, is from Gym Reapers. All right, they're a pretty good brand. All right, so the next thing, you know what I'm saying, for my people that love anime, you see the Naruto shirt. You know what I'm saying, like you're gonna see a lot of anime themed stuff that I have. But these are wrist wraps. Now, of course, these are the Baki. Right, these are the Baki for my people that watch Baki. These are the Baki wrist wraps, right? You have to have wrist wraps to support your wrist joint. That is going to be something that you should be using, especially if you're doing a lot of Olympic lifting. If you're doing bench press, this kind of can actually help you on squat also to make sure you keep your wrist straight, but that's a shoulder mobility issue, right? Don't use this as a band-aid to fix your shoulder mobility issues, right? It may be a wrist mobility issue, but a lot of times it's your shoulders. Anyway, we ain't get into that, but this is something that helps you with your bench press. Any type of pressing motion, you can use these for that. So this is a recommendation for people that you may have neglected your wrist joint a little bit more, right? Your forearm strength a little bit more, right? So, but this is something that you should use when doing heavy lifting on any type of Olympic or pressing motion. You can use this for that, all right? The next thing that should be inside of your gym bag are elbow wraps, all right? Elbow wraps. I do not like elbow sleeves. I figured it out. I don't like knee sleeves and I don't like elbow sleeves. They are trash to me. All right, they are trash at what they're supposed to be doing. Wraps help support my joints a whole lot better, and they help out with the bounce back or throughout the push portion, right? Because once you get to the bottom, this adds a little extra, you know what I'm saying, a little extra pizzazz on that push portion, right? Just a little extra pizzazz on that pushing portion. But these elbow wraps in general can be a dick. And I mean a dick to put on. They can be horrible, right? But these wrist wraps or these elbow wraps, these are the ones where you can loop your arm through, and you don't have to worry about doing the whole top wrapping around situation. This is boom, boom, and then these have what? Velcro right at the end, right? Well, hold on, that's it. These have Velcro right at the end, so I didn't have to worry about any type of actual tying or anything like that. This makes it easier, so you're not sitting there and your arm about to fall off, because by the time you get this one on, you got to worry about getting this one on, and you ain't got to go through all of that. So try to get the ones where you can slide your arm through, and then there's Velcro at the end. It makes it so much more easy. All right, just put this real quick. All right. Also, now another thing, right? Another thing. Now, wide toe box squat shoes, right? Wide toe box squat shoes, right? These guys, right? These guys. You already know, right? You already know. Wide toe box squat shoes. You do not want to have a squat shoe that keeps your feet bunched or your toes bunched together. That is going to limit how great your squat is going to be, and also it can damage your squat or your knees, your hips over time, and the potential, of course, it can go into just basically not really keeping your core in alignment, your knees in alignment, and basically it impairs your kinetic chain. You want to make sure that your feet have the right type of support, that your feet have the right type of shoes. All right, and wide toe box squat shoes are the key. All right. All right, now we're gonna kind of, y'all ain't see that, but we're gonna kind of go ahead and get into a little bit more activation and stuff like that. Well, activation and recovery. Now, this is a trigger point ball, so a lot of people for foam rolling, right? You have foam rollers, you have big, huge foam rollers, you have like little pint size, half-ish, quarter foam roller, and then you have smaller surface area foam rollers, which is a tennis ball / lacrosse ball / a trigger point foam roller, right? Ball, right? This is another thing that I have in my bag, just because you want to be able to get into those really smaller areas. Let's say like you want to foam roll your rhomboids, right? You want to foam roll a certain part of your traps. You want to actually be able to foam roll or get deeper into, let's say, your pec minor, instead of doing you foam roll your entire pecs, right, which is pec major, pec minor. If you want to really dig into your pec minor, you need a smaller surface area type of foam roller. So you need this inside of your bag to make sure that you hit the smaller areas. Also, smaller muscles, even if it's somewhere, a muscle that's in your glute or that's in your leg, you want to get to a certain area where it's just really tight in this one area. You don't really want a huge foam roller for the area. You want something with a smaller surface area that can actually help to release that knot, or release that tightness that's inside of whatever muscle. All right. Another thing, all right, you want to have a personal tripod. Now, right now, I got a camera with its own tripod, so this is just an extra one. All right, so for your cell phone, the reason why you want a tripod when you are lifting, right? If your gym doesn't have, your gym can't, the mirrors at the gym can't record your form. You can look at your form, but if your squat rack is facing the mirror, right? Can you turn your barbell to the side and see if you are in alignment when you're squatting? No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. It's not always convenient, or you're not always able to look at yourself and turn your head to the side and get your body out of alignment, because that's what you're doing. You're getting your body out of alignment when you turn your head like this, all right, when you're squatting or doing any type of movement pattern. So in order for you to see the different angles that you're doing with the movements that you're doing, so that you can self-correct your form, you need a tripod, you need something, you can put your phone up to, so you can see, oh, all right, man, my back was rounding a little bit when I was squatting, my back was rounding a little bit when I was deadlifting. I need to make sure I tighten up, or whatever, right? You want to make sure you have a tripod. That is something that, so you can set your phone on, so you can record yourself. It's very simple, right? Another thing you want to start to put inside of your gym bag is going to be hip circle bands. Hip circle bands. Now, there's a difference between these loop bands, right? These little mini bands, these little mini loop bands, and then these strength bands, right? There's differences between all of them, right? These hip circle bands truly are what they afford. You can put these around your ankles. It's really hard depending on the level that you pick because these usually come in a set, right? There's light, medium, then there's heavy, right? You may get some. I don't know. I haven't seen extra heavy or anything like that, but you may get some where you get extra heavy. But you want to buy these in a set because you want to be able to strengthen and activate your glutes or have some resistance when it comes down to your hips, right? External rotation, this to help out with activating your glutes. You can use these for other things, but mainly this is going to be for my ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just saying ladies. For people that's trying to strengthen your glutes, this is going to be one of the things that you would use, or I would use super often. I had really weak glutes, so of course I had a lot of back pain, knee pain. I really didn't have great glute activation, as like even on one side versus the other. So this hip circle band has helped me to activate and create mind-muscle connection and strengthen my glutes a whole lot. So this is something that you're going to want to use when you're strengthening your core, when you're doing core stability and core strength and just getting better even on your explosive days. This is something that you can put inside your routine when you're actually in the workout portion or when you're actually in the working phase of your program or for the day. All right, so hip circle bands. All right, but another thing, all right, chalk, liquid chalk. All right, a lot of gyms do not allow chalk. All right, I'm talking about the poof, the LeBron James situation. You put they ain't doing all that. All right, you want to have liquid chalk to make sure that you are gripping when you're doing Olympic lifting. If you have a gym that does Olympic lifting, they probably will allow you to do some chalk, but liquid chalk is going to be clutch because it's not a messy situation like regular chalk. Pour it in your hands, you let it dry, it dries really quickly, you put it on your lift, and then you can wipe this off. This is not something that's going to splatter everywhere, get everywhere like regular chalk. So you can wipe this off the barbell and nobody ever know, right? So liquid chalk is going to be a thing that I would use personally. All right. All right. So I talked about the hip circle band. I want to do the little mini band. This mini band is usually the one that this is usually the one where you can put on your ankles, and you see people doing the monster walks or the side leg raises or the kickbacks, right? With this around their ankles. This is something that's going to be key for a lot of things, but this also can help out with shoulders, right? This is something that you can help out with your bench press, right? Keeping resistance, but of course it's still traveling through the shoulders. But this is something that you can use, and it's very versatile with people that is trying to do your recovery, your mobility and flexibility. Right? These are tools that you can use to help out with all three of those and stability, right? These tools are super needed. These are not something that you just use for during your workouts. This is something that you use for movement prep, right? Your movement prep and then your recovery days, your mobility and flexibility days. These are tools that you can use basically in all of it, all right? So you should have this inside of your gym bag, all right? Of course, these usually come in a set. All right, so you see I have the black one here. The black one is the heaviest one for this brand that I got. You should have a set that's going to start from very light, like extra light, all the way to extra heavy type deal. So you want to have different levels because the different movements that you're going to be doing, you're not going to use the same band for every single movement. It's just not going to happen. So you want to have variety. Remember, this comes in a set. Usually it's 3. This big guy right here, all right, is a strength band. This is something that you should use and should be inside of your programming, all right? It should be inside of your program because this is something that can help out with activation. This is something that can help out with strength. This is something that can help out with explosion. This is a tool that you should have inside of your gym bag because every gym does not have this available. I want you to hear me. If you are going to live serious, if you're going to recover, if you're going to take care of yourself and be better, right, and perform, you need to have tools for yourself. Get a set of these going from all the way from the really thin. Now, this is the huge one, right? Hold on. So you have the really thin guy, right, all the way to this. right? You should use all levels. And then me personally, I realized that, all right, I need two sets because if I'm doing banded squat or if I'm doing banded bench press, you're just gonna have one on one side. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna help you out. All right, so get two sets of these bands. That should help you out a whole lot when you're really trying to do a lot of resistance. All right. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? All right. So look. Also under these guys, we have the slant board. The slant board, right? All right, I know you know, I ain't gonna talk about the guys that's kind of made this popular, but a slant board is something that you should use for calves, right? Primarily, let me say this, primarily I use it to stretch my calves, all right? I use it to stretch my calves. You can do a wall stretch where you bend your knee, you put your hands on the wall and you lean forward, right? That is good, right? And there's other ways to stretch your calves, but a primary way to truly, I'm talking about get a crazy great stretch on your calves is to use a slant board. All you're doing is placing your foot up here, right? And the angle that you're gonna be at, depending on what level you're on, it's gonna give you the craziest stretch that you need when it comes down to your calves. A lot of us have really tight calves. If you go to my mobility and flexibility video, and then, well, not even mobility and flexibility video, it's the imbalance test video. I'm gonna show you basically why this slant board can be used or what good this slant board can be for, and then of course, all of these tools are things that you're gonna be using to correct a lot of imbalances and stuff too. So a slant board is something that I bought for myself because for me, I have an imbalance, or I've had an imbalance in my calves when it comes down to flexibility, right? Flexibility. They are not. There's a 3 to 5 inch test that you do for your calves. Mine wasn't getting to 5 inches. It wasn't getting to 5 inches, right? But of course, it affects your squat and everything else. So this is something that I've had to use in order to create a lot more range of motion in my calves in order to grow and be better. All right. All right. So that is basically everything that is inside of my gym bag. Oh, hold on. Got one thing. All right. So a bonus piece. All right. A bonus piece. This a Theragun or a percussion type gun, right? Not a vibrating, right? You want something that's going, go back and forth type deal, right? You don't want the one that vibrates. But basically, the brand, what it's really known by is, well, most of these guns are known by is Theragun, right? This is something that I use pretty often, just because I'm not trying to foam roll my forearms. I ain't trying to foam roll my forearms. It's weird, right? But of course, I can use this bomb. I don't want to do that every day. That ain't gonna happen. All right, I don't feel like doing that. I'm gonna take this gun and I'm gonna just like this. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. When I don't feel like using that ball and leaning on the wall, I'm gonna hit here. Right. I'm gonna hit here. Right. My TFL. All right. I don't feel like getting down on the floor, and it's not a day that I'm so tight, and my flexibility is not as bad as after like a seriously heavy lift and like days like that. Like I'm flexible, but I'm not crazy flexible. I'm gonna hit you with the Theragun. I'm gonna hit myself with the Theragun so that I don't have to do all that extra work. It's work to do mobility and flexibility in the first place. I'm not trying to do extra if I don't have to. So a Theragun can help you out, especially for my people that's not as flexible. I want you to hear me out. For my people that's not as flexible, this has helped a lot of my older clients and even myself try to start to loosen up their muscles so that they can actually gain some flexibility and mobility, right? This is a tool that I would definitely invest in for yourself, all right? All right, so check out all of my other videos. Remember, this is a series. This is something you can go to all of my other videos where it's the 2023, everything you need for your 2023 fitness journey. All right, this is everything you need. So this is what's inside of my gym bag. Make sure you hit one of the links in the description. It's gonna be somewhere. You're gonna be a card somewhere, right? Where you can go to one of my other videos and make sure you watch that because I'm going really in depth with things that you should be doing, what should be inside that fitness program. So you don't have to make the same mistakes everybody else is doing, right? You're not doing a yo-yo diet and you're not doing a quitting and starting and quitting and starting. Go watch my other videos, all right? Let me ask you a question. Why don't you get on the grind?